Hi, it's Kari Mathews of Prairie Quilting. Today we're working on my quilt color play. The pattern is a free pattern, and if you just go to my website, prairiequilting.com, and subscribe to my newsletter, I will email you the link. The fabric I use for this is Superior Solids by Tex, and there's a whole bunch of fun colors to choose from. This quilt reminds me of a color crayon box when you just get it and there's all those fun colors. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, today we're going to be working on our free block, and it's called King's Chain. For our block, we're going to be making a whole bunch of half square triangle units. Okay, we're going to start off making some half square triangle units. So I'm going to match up some light squares with these teal squares, and I'm doing all the same color for the teal here, okay? All right, last one, and now we're going to go ahead and draw a diagonal line. And each of these will give us 2 half square triangle units. So for each block, you need 8 half square triangle units. All right, I'm gonna turn and come back the other side. All right, so now I'm going to just cut on the line, and you can do this with rotary cutter or scissors. Sometimes it's just easier to grab your scissors if it's kind of a quick cut. This is a good in front of the TV activity. We're going to press toward the teal color. So I like to give it a top press and then press, just peel that top layer back. Okay, all right, so now we're gonna go ahead and clip off all of those corners. So I have laid these dark squares out in alternating here, okay? And I've tried to separate the dark colors, kind of we got the dark green, dark blue, dark purple, and then all these pinks and oranges and stuff too. So, and then we're gonna go ahead and put 2 light colors up here. And I love scrappy quilts. So the more fabric, the more fun, I think. And this is the Superior Solids by Tex. So this is they have so many fun, vibrant colors here. And then we're gonna go ahead and put our half square triangles we just made in the remaining spots here, okay? And what we're doing is we're lining, the teals are gonna make a diagonal row, okay? So we have this diagonal strip, and then the teal goes towards the other teal, okay? So now we're gonna just sew them into rows, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna connect up, and I like to lay my blocks out so that I know which way I'm going. I'm gonna go ahead and match up all of we're gonna put them in sets of 2, okay? And we're gonna lay the rows out, okay? And I'm making stacks of each row. And this last row here. All right, so now we're gonna just go ahead and sew these rows. We're sewing them together so that, that's why I put these in rows, so that I can keep track of which fabric colors go where. Okay, so we'll sew that green onto the end. And if you get confused, just remember that it's the dark squares, it's basically alternating, okay? So with the lights and those half square triangles. There is our first row. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and just keep on doing that. And if you get confident in your, remembering which goes where, you can work on a couple rows at a time. Okay, I'm gonna start my third row so that I can not keep breaking my thread. Okay, and these are from my second row, okay. Okay, so we'll go ahead and match those up. If you get confused, you can just always go back to the original and lay it out again. So we'll just keep carrying on here. Okay, now I'm alternating. I'm doing my third row here. And you know what? This is scrappy, so even if you get it mixed up, it's okay. All right, and here we go. Let's connect. This is our second row. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and match this orange up with, this is the end of the third row. Okay, and here's our second row. And now we have the two parts for our third row. Okay, fourth row again. And then we're going to go ahead and match up. This is for our third row here. And here is our fourth row. Okay, so I'm going to put this light square on the end. And we'll start on the last row, the fifth row. This is a 5 patch. Okay, and this is our fourth row. We're going to finish that one off. And this is the last row, the fifth row. So we're connecting up 5 of these blocks for each row. All right, let's go ahead and get this one done, and then we'll press all of our rows. All right, and to press, I'm gonna go ahead and go toward the dark squares. Okay, so, and hopefully this will make it easier so that when we connect up all of our squares, they will nest a little better. All right, so that's away from the half square triangles as well, okay? Because those are kind of counting as our light squares in this quilt. All right, and toward the darks, last row. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and pin our rows together and our seams should nest. So I'm gonna do the top 2 and the bottom 2 rows here, and we're nesting those seams. All right, and we'll do the same, and then we'll leave the middle row. And you could take a picture if while you have it all laid out so that you remember which way it's going, if that helps you, or you can just kind of wing it. I like to sew with my needle down. Makes taking those pins out a little easier. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and connect that middle row up to the top section. And I like to, I kind of, for this quilt, have mixed up all the colors for each block, and then we'll just arrange all the blocks at the end. All right, and we're gonna pin that last section. And we're nesting all of our seams, of course. All right, and let's go ahead and press. And we'll press toward the dark. All right, and there is our finished block. All right, and now we get to play with arranging all the blocks. Okay, so we've finished our blocks and now we get to play. Okay, so I've laid them out how I'm going to, the design that I'm going to put them in. Okay, but we can make a lot of different designs with just this one block. So let's just go ahead and rearrange the blocks a bit. Okay, so by rearranging 2 rows, we have an echoing zigzag. Okay, and now we have made a big X and an echoing in the outer areas here. Okay, and let's do one more. Okay, and now we have parallel lines. So enjoy, have fun, play, and make this your design. Okay, and when I am pinning these blocks together, the blocks, we press toward the dark, and so they're both going the same direction. I'm going to just make this nest, okay? So I'm just forcing that nest, and I'm gonna go ahead and put a pin in it. And then when we press it, we're just gonna smash that down. And I'm going toward, so this is the lighter color, so I'm gonna go toward, have that be on toward the light, okay? Also, this pink is lighter than that dark green. So I'm folding that over and just forcing it to nest, okay? Okay, and I'm gonna show you how I press these. So do you see, here's where I forced the nests, okay? And I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just not being particular, I'm just kind of smashing it down. Okay, and they're folded over, but that will all be fine when we quilt it. All right, our quilt is finished. I hope you had fun, and I hope to see you soon for another project. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then you can be notified of all the new content I put out. Take care.